Oh yeah, and we are live. Hello everyone. My name is Adewale, and I welcome you back to another CodeSandbox stream. You can also call me Ace, developer advocate at CodeSandbox. Today I have an amazing guest with me, Nate from Astro, an amazing web framework that allows you to build content-driven, content-focused web applications. But I'm going to let him do most of this, intro to the best of his ability. So, Nate, welcome.
Hey, how's it going, Ace? Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you for granting us with space on your time.
Of
How you
course.
doing today?
I'm doing great. Excited to build some stuff with CodeSandbox and Astro.
Same. I think we could start with an intro from you. Who's
Yeah,
Nick?
totally. So I am a developer at the Astro technology company. We are building Astro, which hopefully folks have heard about, but it's a project that's really focused on building static sites and content-focused websites. And we ship zero JavaScript by default, and development experience is really awesome. So that's a lot of our focus. Is fast websites, fast development experience. Yeah, we're pretty performance obsessed.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, the entire tagline is "Build faster websites," so
Yep.
that's like a very important core value.
Yep.
That's true. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think I can let you share your screen now. What would we be building today?
Yeah.
Looking forward to learning.
Let me make sure I'm sharing. Cool.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so I just scaffolded out like a really basic project here, but I actually forked the CodeSandbox Astro template. And I just thought we could build like a pretty simple blog, which we have a template for, but we'll kind of walk through and go step by step. I thought that would be fun. Blogs are a use case where Astro really shines because they're very content focused. They're not super interaction heavy. So yeah, the coolest thing to start off with is we have our basic like project structure here. You can see there's an Astro config file. We have pages directory. So this works similar to some other frameworks with file-based routing. Basically, any file that ends up in here will be a route on your website. And then we have this interesting syntax, which we can definitely chat more about.
You want to zoom into your editor a bit, just so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Everyone can see. Awesome.
Absolutely.
So I have an interesting question before you start. I recently had to build a custom documentation website for a product, and everything is powered by Markdown. So all I have to do is just fetch the API and build out the documentation. So every time they add a new Markdown file, the documentation is updated with component support and all of those things. So I'm very curious to see, especially with how Astro is optimized for content-driven websites. Does this fit into like the use cases that I can use Astro for, and what other examples of like general or more common documentation, not documentation websites specifically, but like content-driven websites or applications are the go-to for me to do with Astro?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So our docs website is built with Astro, obviously. But this is kind of that situation. There's a repo with a whole bunch of markdown files. We can actually go look at the Astro docs. And I'll just zoom in here. But yeah, this is one of the like main use cases that got us really excited. So we have translations. We'll just hop into the English one, but you can see this is in our pages directory. And even markdown files here just become a page on the site.
Automatically.
Yeah. And that's all built in. So we have, you can do things like set up a layout, which is an Astro component. And then, yeah, just focus on writing your content. And then it becomes a site on the page. So I can actually show that off right now. So we'll say like test.md and hello world. And now if we navigate to test,
Yeah.
we should just have a page there. And yeah, so there's no styles or anything by default because this is just a markdown file, but we can add a layout component, which is just an Astro component. And if we go in here, we add some front matter. We say layout is going to be layout.astro. This page should start getting our styles and stuff. So where this slot element is where all of that content will go.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we'll get some basic files with our styles here are in our public directory. So everything in this folder just gets copied over. And yeah, we can do a lot of cool stuff. I think the markdown stuff gets me really excited. You can also use MDX if that's the thing that you really like, or any framework components. So I say we start with zero JavaScript, but we can actually, add any JavaScript framework we want, like React or Vue or Svelte, Solid, and we can just drop that into our file here, and it just works.
Wait, let me get you clear. So we're building Astro, but we are also able to work with any additional framework of our choice. Vue, React. Wow, I did not know that.
So let's see. How can you actually teach me something about CodeSandbox? How do I get the just a terminal up? I can show.
Right. So the icon beside your avatar to your left, that's a DevTools icon.
This one?
Yes.
DevTools, terminals.
And you can a new terminal, exactly.
Amazing. So I should be able to run npm run Astro add. I'm going to use Preact because that's what I'm the most familiar with.
Oh, I see.
But this will actually give us our, some information about like, hey, I'm going to update your config file for you. So this will actually install everything we need to use Preact.
Yeah.
So we can do that. And then it just kind of automatically updates our config for us. So this is all working. And that's all we need to do, which is really cool. Well, so I'm just going to drop a Preact component in here. We'll do like a simple counter. And we'll just export default. Let's see. Do this. Return, I don't know, just a button that does this. And count. And we need to import use state from Preact. And then export this. And we can do a click handler. Oh, hey, you're in the file.
Yeah, I just done that.
So we can do set count is going to be the value +1. Cool. So yeah, how do we use this now? All we have to do is like import it like another component. So we can say counter. Components, counter, and then drop it in. And we should get the button in here. Let's see what happens there. Let's see. Might need to restart for some reason. Interesting. You know what? This is using... Let me see if upgrading Astro is going to help here.
Yeah. I think on my end, I'm also seeing like a different error. Let me share that with you.
Oh, sure.
Can you see this?
If I can find my screen again. 1 second.
Just refreshed.
Value. Oh, use state. Oh, okay.
Yes.
I know what's going on here.
Okay.
This is from Act Hooks. So we weren't
Hello,
able
Joanna.
to.
Welcome to the stream. Hello, Kelvin. Welcome to the stream. We seem to be fighting a bug at the moment. See how it goes. How's it going, Kelvin? Oh, I see the counter now.
Why am I not seeing that?
Refresh. Yeah, it just popped up on my end straight up. Well, I think you're on a different page. You're on the test page.
That would do it.
Right.
Amazing. Okay, cool. Okay, perfect. It is not working. If you click on it, you can see that. And that's because we default to no JavaScript. So you actually have to opt in. So you can use a client directive for that. And we'll actually get, type ahead here. But I like client idle will basically wait until the browser's ready. And now when you click it, it should just work.
Oh, nice.
And this is cool. If you actually look at the dev tools here, should be able to see. Oh, that's really tiny.
Yeah, it's really tiny.
Give me a second.
I think you might have to click into it. Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So if we look at our network, you'll see that we should just load a couple things, but this is actually delayed until the client is idle. So the waterfall is kind of delayed. It's not blocking. And this is just dev mode. So there's a bunch of resources, but in production, that's all bundled together and stuff. So it's kind of like lazy loading, but it's a main feature of Astro. And we can do it for every framework.
Wow, that is amazing.
There's another really fun one, which is client visible. So if I just put a spacer here, and another cool thing, we have scope styles. So I can just say spacer, and I'm going to make this like 100 VH. We'll get formatting and everything. So now if we go back and look, we can't see our button.
No, I can't.
Which means it's not going to load. So we don't have any button here. And then as we scroll down, we'll actually lazy load in the button automatically.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's really nice for really anything that's like not right at the top of the page. So if you have like a comment section on your blog or something like that, you can just put the button down the comment section and delay that unless a user actually needs it. So yeah, that's another really exciting feature of Astro.
That is amazing. I'm probably jumping the gun, but I'm also curious if you want to get into styling. I mean, you do have scoped styles.
Yeah.
But, when we think about Tailwind or other UI frameworks, what's the support like? Plus, also, are there like default themes that are already available, like out of the box for Astro?
Sure. So we have a bunch of community themes on our website. So if you're looking for like a place to get started, there's like a whole bunch of fun templates here. So this is one good place if you like don't want to start from scratch with your styling. There's some really good community stuff there to start with. But yeah, if you want to start from scratch and do Tailwind, that is actually the same way we added our framework. We can also do Astro add Tailwind, and it'll just set up Tailwind for us out of the box. So very similar workflow. It'll ask us to update the file, and then it'll do that automatically, and then it'll even generate a Tailwind config for us.
Yeah, I see.
So I have to admit I am really slow with Tailwind.
I was just asking.
Yeah, totally. But what do we have? Text.
Great, maybe.
Sure.
I haven't used it in a minute.
That's probably the least exciting one we could do, but text. Was it purple? Is it cyan? There we go. Is it gonna work? Am I still on the wrong page?
No, you're on the right page. do we need to import, or is it like automatically available?
It should be automatically available, but let me check the dev tools.
So I'm not just teaching you CodeSandbox, but next time there's open a new tab button, so you don't have to like copy the link. Yes.
That's awesome. Right here.
Open right there. Yes, exactly.
Look at that. Awesome. Yeah, maybe I'm just doing the syntax wrong, but yes, Tailwind works out of the box like that. If you like using just plain CSS, we have scope styles. So if you do like H1 and color red, if you check here, this will actually give you a class name, and the style will just scope to the H1. So this won't bleed out to any other H1s in any other files, which is really nice.
Yeah, that is amazing.
So we have that. We have Preact, but there's some other cool things we can do. And this kind of gets into like the components. So we have our own, we kind of breezed right over the Astro syntax. But yeah, we have our own syntax here. So this is a good thing to explain. So we have these fences, which we call front matter fences. And up here, you can do anything you would do on the server. So if you log hello world, this is going to log in your server terminal, not in the browser. And then here we can just say like, just going to put a blog post. Literally just blog post. And then we can say like maybe article. And here we'll have some content, which I'll use a slot for right now. Back here, if we import our blog post component, it works just like a Preact component or anything else. So we can say blog post. And then if I put some content here, this should just work.
I guess I'll go to load module. Okay, that's restart. All right. I was also
that's why. Blog post dot Astro.
So I was going to ask for the Astro files. I think targeted mostly towards like top level layouts components only. Because if you look at the pages directory, you have both the test.md file and the index or Astro file on both in the folder. So is there like a best practice there? Or can you just
So top level pages are usually Astro files, and that's because Astro files are all static, so they only run on the server. And that's kind of what enables the islands architecture piece. So when we loaded that Preact component in, the only thing that was loading in the browser was that Preact component. The rest of the page was just static HTML. And that's why we built the Astro syntax originally, is because it gave us full control over, what JavaScript is loaded where. So yeah, you could actually build completely with Astro components and not use any framework components if you have mostly static stuff. But you can have like layouts. These are really good for just like encapsulating some markup and some styles. You can also load data in these. So if you had like an ID for these, so we'll say like 001, and these were just going to fetch some API. We could totally do that too. So we would say, we can say what our props are by using just a TypeScript interface. So our ID is going to be a string. And then we have this Astro global that has a bunch of stuff on it. So if we say Astro props, we'll actually be able to grab the ID from here. Then we can log our ID just to see. And I'm also going to just put it here, which should work. Getting a bit of lag. I'm going to try to do a fresh install because I feel like we might be getting some bugs.
Hello, Ben. Welcome. Hello, Erika. Erika claims to have you as a co-worker, Nate.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. So this Nate person is my co-worker.
Yeah, is that Erica? Hello. Yeah, we have an amazing community. And yeah, I'm not the only person working on Astro, so there's a whole team of us.
Right.
And yeah, they're all amazing. So let me try this again. I think our dev server close. Let's see. Am I not passing in the ID? Blog post.
Yeah.
Open logs. Hello world. So I'm getting that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, so this hasn't updated for some reason? Hey, there we go. Okay.
So what tasks requires you to restart the dev server?
You usually don't have to. I just seem to be running into some like HMR bugs, which we're working on nailing down. But yeah, to get back to the ID here, so if we had some remote data source, we could just do fetch, my API slash post my ID. So then we could get response text. But obviously that's not going to get us anything. So let me just go to like the Astro repo here. And we can get the README for Astro, which is right here. Okay. There we go. Let's just fetch this. So yeah, we have top level await, we have fetch support. So all of this is very much like the browser, and we should just get the content back here. So similar to React dangerously set inner HTML. We have a set HTML, which will insert the HTML in the post body. So this obviously is markdown. So we would need to transform that, which there are community packages for. In fact, I think one is called Astro Remote. So I think that would be a good thing to install. I'm going to install Astro Remote, which I should clarify is also a package I built.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's not an official package, but it does help with this problem where you have some remote markdown. If it's on the file system, Astro can build it. But for remote data like this, we have other ways to do this. So this should just render out our HTML.
Just did.
Yeah. That is all you need to do. So obviously it could use some styling help and things like that. But that's another really good option if you don't have all your posts locally.
That means, are there any, I mean, I would assume this is a, what's it called? We're having a just quick start here, but are there like recommended data fetching practices? Like, let's say I'm building a proper or a big level of this application. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, if you're working, I mean, it all really depends on what you're building. If you're working with a CMS, you can use their built-in APIs. We actually have a section on our website that kind of shows a few different things. But yeah, you can use like the Storyblock API, you would just drop in here. You can have local markdown like we talked about. If you want to use components, we have MDX. And then again, like fetching from an API, you can just do a one-off fetch if you really want to.
That is amazing. So everything goes into the front matter. I don't need to have like a script tag at the bottom of the page. You just
go straight into the front. Exactly. So this all runs on the server. So because of that, you're building it at build time. So you can fetch all your data. It doesn't really matter like latency and all that stuff. We're just going to build HTML.
Everything. Nice.
Yep.
I guess that's why it's pretty fast.
Yeah. So it's just pure HTML. The JavaScript you can bring in and use as much or as little as you want to kind of enhance the experience. But at least all the content is there. That's really the focus.
Awesome.
So yeah, there are a couple other things we could do. I'm actually just going to copy over some pages here in our blog. So we'll say first post. We'll just get some markdown. Because there's some other really powerful features that make working with markdown really easy. So that is, let me make sure I have the layout set properly. So I'm just going to drop in our blog post. There's some extra components here. don't have. So one thing we like to do a lot is have like this head component that just kind of takes all of your props and social images and things like that and just kind of puts them in one area. So that's really nice. We have a footer.
That is really nice because most frameworks I've seen that have to handle this, you have to like pass in your metadata like in the form of JSON or just using like different frameworks. It's really nice to just have you like writing it out and it's basically embedded into your page.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, this is just a component like any other. It's nice that because we're on the server, that lets us do things like render your head element and all the content in there really easily. I think the reason a lot of those other frameworks use JSON or something like that is because, you know, they're running in the browser. It's hard to update the head because they're not actually rendering that part of the page.
That does make sense.
Yeah. So by focusing on the server first, it really opened us up to a lot of helpful patterns that are a bit harder in other frameworks. So yeah, one of the things that's really cool here is basically our inline styles. You can just drop in like a little bit to tweak. And we also have features like class list, which is kind of like if you've used class names in React, you can just pass in an object or an array, and this will just condense everything down for you. So that's nice that that's built in too. And then on our page here, we can do something really cool. So I'm going to create a blog Astro page. And I'm just going to pull in some components. And a bit of a template. And then we will go check out the blog page. Okay. There is Astro, CodeSandbox, world.
Hello world.
Okay. So we are getting a helpful error here. I think somewhere in here, we are assuming that there's a config file.
You can do a search.
Here it is.
Right.
Astro. CodeSandbox. Cool. So, whoa, hit the wrong button. So this is like a really simple blog layout. And we have some posts in our post page, but it would be really nice to like list these out here. So I am going to use a thing called Astro Glob, which is kind of like any other like import.meta.glob. If you've seen that in Vite, we actually have a very similar thing. So we can get our posts here. I'm going to minimize that for a second. I guess maybe I'll open it over here.
Yeah, you can close it temporarily. Just have it open.
Oh, you just close? Hey, okay. That makes sense. Okay, so we can do await, astro.glob, and we'll do our blog posts. .md. And that's all we have to do to get all our posts. So if we actually log these out, let's see my logs here. So we'll have a bunch of info. And this is really handy because now we can loop over and say like map our post, and we'll get our post.frontmatter title. And then we'll get first post and markdown style guide. So we can do that in our actual template would be much more helpful. So we will just do a map like this. And then open up the preview, close this. We'll go to our blog page. So that is looking like something. But we want these to actually link to the correct post. Okay, that's a little better. But we can actually drop in a time based on our publish date, and then a link to our file. So this will give us, again, like we can use all the JavaScript we want here. So we'll get like a nice localized date, and then a post URL. So when we click on this, we should just get our full post.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we can go back to the blog and see all the awesome content.
That is amazing.
So obviously the styling could use a little help. Oh, I'm realizing why that is, because our base head component needs a link to, it's called main. Hey, that looks much better immediately. So yeah.
Awesome.
And then I think we're just not getting our images here. Let's see. Is there an easy way to upload images?
Yeah, you can just drag and drop into the.
Oh, cool. From Finder. So let me just copy over my public directory. Failed to upload.
Where is that? I think you're trying to the folder.
Oh, there we go.
Probably do individual files.
One at a time, yeah. Cool. And now we should have an actual thumbnail.
Looks good.
Thanks. So yeah, this was like a really simple example, but the coolest thing about this is we're not actually using any JavaScript, in my opinion, because obviously your site is never going to be as fast as it is without JavaScript. So the fact that you can still use components and styles and all this modern developer experience you're used to build a site without any JavaScript is really, really nice.
Yeah, I think the best part for me so far has also been the fact that because of the front matter approach and just using like running all the imports or the fetching on the server and being able to set like the meta tags. That has been one of the most stressful parts for me when I'm building content-driven websites because I'm
Yep.
like, you know what, I want to update the social preview images on the go. So I
Right.
have to think about how I'm going to inject new metadata information on the go, and that's like ridiculous for a lot of frameworks that run in the browser to generate this kind of thing. So just knowing that I could just go basically almost writing just HTML alone and having
Right.
that entire experience all set up feels like a different ball game. I think
Yeah.
that's like, yeah. I don't know if it's valid to even ask you what your favorite part of the entire framework is, because I mean, I just, but it's probably more difficult for you to share something like that.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of things I love about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the lazy loading features were kind of an early thing that was like, oh, this is super cool. Like
Hmm.
client visible, not loading until you actually scroll. But I think slots are really powerful. So the fact that we're using this slot element here is like the simplest way to use it. But I love that, we can get even more complicated here. So we can put like, um, you can basically name these however you want. So you can say like,
Right.
if we had I don't know, an H2, we could say slot name. And this could be like title.
Hmm.
And then suddenly when we use this layout, we could also have like a fragment with a slot that's named title, and then we
You
could
just
put
go and
like
do it.
any content we want here, um, and
Yep.
we'll actually get the content in the right place. So that's a very powerful pattern for
Yeah.
accepting, multiple pieces of content and just kind of wrapping them up nicely in a component. So everything in the component cares about the layout, but then the content, like if you were a content author, it'd be so much nicer to just look at this file and update the words, right?
Right. Right. So
Um,
just extending to those in the audience that are watching, if you have any questions, if you have any features that stands out to you that you're excited about as well, you can definitely share with us. Yeah, I'll let you proceed, Nate.
awesome. Um, yeah, I think we can kind of clean up our index page here as well. Just to make it look a bit nicer. And let's see where. There it was. Another thing that I really love, and one of the reasons this interview we're doing is really exciting, is our language tools are really awesome. So we wrote our compiler, and there's a lot of stuff that enables because we have our own component format. Like building the dev tools for it was a really interesting experience, um, and it's probably the most important thing since we're not actually using like TSX or anything that
Mhm.
already existed. We had to go build our own language server and a whole
Wow.
bunch of stuff. So we actually have Erica on our team, focuses on that full time, and
Hello, Erica.
and all this awesome stuff, like the fact that props is typed to, we just say interface props, and we actually get
Mhm.
like auto completion here. That is all because Erica is very good at what she does, and built this awesome language server for us. So the fact that runs in the browser in CodeSandbox is super exciting, and yeah, it's just super fun to use.
Amazing. Are there any more cleanups we need to do on the index page?
It looks like the styles are a little off, and I'm not sure why that is. Let me check my links here. So yeah, we have main.css. Interesting. I think we're done with that file. And yeah, let's see. We also have an about page. So one of the nice things is that you can kind of mix and just drop in like this page. I don't really care too much about the layout other than what we have already. So we can just drop in some markdown and use the blog post. And then we get like a full page already.
I just clicked on the about link before you added the file, and I think the automatic for page is really simple and just nice as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's good.
Thanks. So yeah, this this project is also on GitHub. It's actually our starter template. Yeah, something about the styles. I think I'm not wrapping something. I think that's what the problem is. I think we need main. No, they are all wrapped in the main. Interesting. Oh, I bet it's because Tailwind has some resets.
Possibly, actually. I totally forgot we installed Tailwind.
I totally forgot that too. So
yeah, it looks so
hey, yeah.
Just look at that.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. So yes, Tailwind by default resets some of your styles. So yeah, this is kind of our.
This looks like 1,000 times better.
Yeah, this is our full thing. I was very confused why the styles weren't looking good. Oh, then that is not looking good either. So this is pointing to the wrong place. Layouts. Blog post. Let's see. Seems like it should be fine. Well, that might be a mystery to solve later. I was going to say that we actually have a website called astro.new that has a bunch of places to get started. This one you can actually find here. It does use the old projects right now. So it's not on projects, but it's on the old one. But yeah, we're working on updating that. But you can see kind of all these examples and a whole bunch more at astro.new, and you can just click and get started in the browser. So that's really fun. All the examples also are in our repo, so you can press the GitHub button and see the source code here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nate.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any questions from the audience, but I think this has been a very insightful session. I totally did not know some of these were possible with Astro till now. And I'd like to assume people in the audience also like feel the same way. But I've not seen any new questions, so I don't know if you have like any final words for us before we wrap up, Nate.
Yeah, I would just check out if you're not following us on Twitter, we are Twitter astro.build, like typed out. It's very hard to find a good username these days.
I mean, it's 2022.
So yeah, definitely follow us, astro.build. And also our Discord is super fun if you're looking for a community of people building stuff with Astro or just web developers in general. You can go to astro.build/chat, and this will take you right into our Discord. So yeah, that is kind of my final pitch. Come join us, become an astronaut, and hang out. It's a lot of fun.
Good name, by the way. That was a really good name. Anyways, yeah, thank you so much, Nate.
Awesome.
Enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's been a great session. We'll see you on the next video.
Thanks so much.
Yes.